Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. It's match preview, Galatasaray versus Manchester United. And when you say it's big games, this is a big game. For me, it's a must-win. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. First of all, what's your overall thoughts going into this game?
Well, going into this game, it's one of the biggest tasks Manchester United have had to face in recent history. Going away to Galatasaray, history tells you how tough it is, and this is an immense task. I think United have got it all to do. History tells me United are going to struggle here, but I've got every confidence in United. That game against Everton in a hostile crowd, going to a hostile crowd in Galatasaray, the dirty tricks will come out, everything will come out, but I think United will have the composure. It's not a must-win for Galatasaray, this, but for Manchester United, we have to win. We have to win. There's no two ways about it. You can put your permutations where you want. This has to be a win.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Even a point now would put us on 4, Galatasaray on 5. Us then needing to go and beat Bayern Munich at Old Trafford with a job in itself. And you're then hoping results go your way between Copenhagen and Galatasaray. So this, for me, it's a must-win game. We've not won at their ground before, but what gives you that confidence that we can go and get the 3 points?
I listened to Erik just before, and I think to myself, he's talking about Kobbie Mainoo. He's talking about a settled side. He's talking about the atmosphere. Yes, he mentioned Pellistri coming in. He mentioned Martial. Listen, I think United will have the composure. I listen to Erik I listen to Bruno, and I think to myself, they sound confident. I think United will play possession football, won't rush it, and I think Martial will stay on the pitch, and I think he'll be the main threat for United. I don't think Hojlund, he's talking about Hojlund being in the squad, Antony being in the squad, but I think he'll pick Martial, and the way Martial and Bruno linked up, that's the formation I see winning this game.
Yeah, I know what you mean about Martial. It's an option there, and I'm sure some people out there will agree. 2 opportunities really. The one running into the box, got the penalty, and obviously scored with that neat, tidy finish. But for me, with Hojlund there, is it 5 goals he scored now in the Champions League? We're going to need goals in this game to win the match. So for me, I would start Hojlund and then maybe look at see how he's doing with fitness around that 60, 70 minute mark, then bring Martial on. For me, on the right-hand side, Antony update. Well, there was updates from Ten Hag's press conference that Hojlund and Antony are available for this one. I think he'll choose Antony on that right-hand side, Garnacho on the left, Hojlund up front, and that's a very youthful front three.
Yeah, bringing Antony into this game, we know he's got a temperament, Antony, and I think Galatasaray will target him if he starts the game.
Yeah,
that's how they do it over there in Turkey. They make targets, and Antony is the target. We've seen him react to stupid things. So I think it might be a danger starting him. I think Pellistri, with his work rate, everything, he's done nothing wrong, and I think he'll get a start. He did mention Pellistri, that he's young, he'll get opportunities, and it's up to him to make a statement and get in that 11. That's the only change I see Erik Ten Hag making. Obviously, Rashford's not playing. So it's a choice, really. And, we've all got our choices there, Pellistri or Antony. But I think starting Antony there is a danger with his temperament.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. History tells you that. We've seen it in situations with Antony, not just at Manchester United, but Ajax, especially in the Champions League. But I think with what they were talking about in the press conference, Bruno and Erik Ten Hag, this is something that they're expecting.
Yes.
Players to be targeted, the atmosphere. They don't want to be having the crowd overawing them and making them come off their game just by the atmosphere. So to me, it sounds like it's something that they've spoken about as a team, as a squad, and it's something that they're going to expect. So for me, I would still play Antony because I would not expect him to overreact or react in a way that we don't want to see as fans. So for me, that would be my front three. Listen, if he started Pellistri, I wouldn't mind that either. No. I just do not want to see Bruno Fernandes on that right-hand side, which, for me, I've got a slight doubt that Ten Hag might actually put him on that right-hand side like we've seen in the home fixture. Maybe put Kobbie Mainoo and Scott McTominay in the middle with Hannibal in there as well with legs. That's something I think Erik Ten Hag might choose and opt for. But for me as a fan, as a supporter, I've already given my front three, and that's got to be Kobbie Mainoo, Scott McTominay, and Bruno in the middle where he's best at.
Well, you talk about Galatasaray looking at United. There's been a lot of conversation about it. And what was it they did at Old Trafford? Well, what they did, their manager, the coach has said, we targeted United with a high press.
Mm.
pressed him. So we expect that.
This is why Kobbie Mainoo's got to start this game, in my opinion. The tactical phrase out there is press resistant. Well, to be honest with you, he is press resistant. His body movement, the way he can get out of tight corners, tight spaces, one-touch balls, how he can look over his shoulder. A bit of like a Glenn Hoddle or a Michael Carrick type, where he can drop the shoulder, send you one way, and then he's going the other. Yeah. And then you can start creating attacks from deep. So for me, I don't think he'd be overawed as well with this atmosphere, which a lot of players out there would be. There'll be senior international players who will have nerves before this game, nerves in the first 5-10 minutes. But I just do not see this kid being overawed with that atmosphere. And I think if you can get him on the ball early, get a few passes going in the first 5-10 minutes, get control of the game, which I think he can do, I think United will have a chance in this game of getting them 3 points.
I don't think Kobbie Mainoo will be overawed. If you look at his performance at Everton, you look at the hostile crowd, the atmosphere, everything there, the whole squad was prepared for it. So I think they will be prepared for this. But it's Galatasaray. You have to expect the unexpected over here.
Different animal, different beast, this one.
Absolutely. They don't care about the rules. When it comes to it, they want to get a result. And at the end of the day, if they get a draw, it won't be the end of the world for them. So, but for United, I see here the back four, Kobbie Mainoo in front and McTominay there again. The same team, obviously, without Rashford, and it's whoever you pick for that, but it's a must-win. I can't emphasise the difficulties what United are going to face here in this ground and outside it. There will be games played, they'll be kept awake at night. These things happen here, and it is a terrible atmosphere. I've been a couple of times, I've loved it there, had great times and that, but when the rules are there, Galatasaray know how to break the rules, and we have to have a strong referee here. We've got to stay calm. That is the most important thing.
I'm just smiling, thinking there of a story. Well, you've told me a few stories in the past, but was that the one where you was running down the motorway in Galatasaray?
Yeah, running down the motorway to get to the ground, carnage. But hey, that's Galatasaray.
Yeah, I wish we could tell you that on camera, because it's an absolutely great story, to be honest with you. A funny one, let's say that. Yeah. But yeah, back four as well. In the home leg we had, it was Varane and Lindelof who started, but do you expect Maguire to keep his place alongside Lindelof for this one?
No, I think the back four, what you've seen at Everton there, Luke Shaw had a great game there.
Yeah. Same back four that started.
Just the same back four. Wan-Bissaka, I love Wan-Bissaka, but I think Dalot will stay in there. But it's good to be able to bring on, if we're in a winning position, to have someone like Aaron Wan-Bissaka to come on. I think Wan-Bissaka will be on the bench, me. I can't see any changes. The preparation for Everton away was top-notch, and I think the same will go here. You also look at what we're going to be facing on Saturday, the same type of atmosphere. So I think the whole squad should be prepared, but it's Galatasaray. And the unexpected will happen. You will see fireworks there.
Yeah, I expect him to play like slow out from the back as well, with Onana, Kobbie Mainoo as well, being that person who's looking at receiving it from the back for the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But for me, on that right-hand side, you look at the home fixture, I thought Dalot had a really poor game against Zaha and other players who he come up against in that game. You look at one of the goals he scored, getting out muscled, etc. Is that something that would be still playing on his mind from the, the first leg at Old Trafford? Well, the tie at Old Trafford. I've got to go for Wan-Bissaka, me starting at right back. I don't see what Wan-Bissaka's been doing wrong when he has been playing.
No, he's done nothing wrong.
And for me, one-on-one defensively, we all know how good he is. And in an away fixture in the Champions League, it's always something you've got to have spot on your defensive shape. And I think he gives you that as well. And one-on-one up against a tricky player in Zaha if he does play.
Listen, it's tricky who to put in there, but what you have to do is just look at what happened on Sunday. They played together. They understood what they had to do. Yeah. There was composure there, and I enjoyed the game. I thought it was one of the best games of the season. And at the end of the day, I think that team deserves to go to Galatasaray, stick together, and then just crack on. I don't think Galatasaray will play the same way try and press and come out and attack, especially not in that first half. Obviously, if United get the goal, you'll see an avalanche come at United.
Well, big pressure on Galatasaray as well, like you mentioned before. This is their last home fixture in the Champions League before they're off to Copenhagen away, so they'll want to get the 3 points. And it's like, well, how did they start off? Did they start off, like defensively to try and grow into the game, try and just play possession football on the halfway line in their own half, and then look to counter-attack? I'm not too sure. If you've watched Galatasaray recently, let us know how you think they'll start in the comments. But United have got to get control of that ball and get a feel of it early on.
I look at it differently. From an English perspective, right? We want to be in that Champions League. We have to be in that Champions League. For Galatasaray, they look at it differently. They want to be in Europe. Okay? So, like I've said at the beginning, a draw to them is fine. They're quite happy. Then they're off to Copenhagen and they're going to go at Copenhagen. And if they end up in the Europa League, they'll be happy with that. To us, it's a disaster. The Champions League is everything. And like I said, this is the biggest game for a long, long time. But I do think, listening to Ten Hag, he's got the composure, and I think the squad's got composure. You've got to remember, United have won 5 out of the last 6 games. It's coming together slowly, right? But this is massive. But I do think United will have the temperament to just sit there, wait, bide the time. And I'm going for a 1-0 here, which might surprise a lot of yous out there.
Yeah, with you saying like the recent form in the league, the clean sheets recently as well. Hopefully that will put us in good stead going over there as well, and in some confidence with the players who start at the back in that back forward as well to keep that clean sheet and the goalkeeper. And like you're saying about the Champions League, the last thing I want us to do is get knocked out of this Champions League and then go into the Europa League. For me, I just don't think you should be rewarded for failure, where you're entering the Champions League and then you're getting put down into another cup competition. It's just not for me that at all, even though I'm one of them who wants a day out in every cup final that we play. It's just something not there for me. No. I don't have the appetite for it. I don't have the hunger for it. Once, especially you've been in that Champions League, it's just like it's a downer every game after that then in the Europa League for me. But, I'm sure there's people out there who disagree, but that's fine.
Score?
Look, we've never won there, have we?
No.
But records are there to be broken. And, yeah, I'm just seeing something a little bit different in the past few games, to be honest with you. That bit of appetite, that, working hard together, especially like the glimpses like you've seen of Kobbie Mainoo recently. Will he start? Won't he start? Erik Ten Hag seems to think he'll be able to handle it. The bicycle kick from Garnacho, he's probably still flying about somewhere. Watched it at least 50 times up to now. I just think there's a momentum there. I just think there's a confidence there. And as long as we can keep it tight, no dramas in there, everyone just keeping the shape and, keeping their attitude, not getting involved with any,
You're worried,
tit for tat. No, I'm not worried. I'm really looking forward to the game.
Yeah.
I just don't want anything to go wrong like we've seen against Copenhagen, with Rashford getting sent off. In my eyes, it was the wrong decision by the referees, but, we've got to keep our composure. And when we get the chances, finish. That's why I want Hojlund up there, because I think the lad will finish as well.
What's the score?
So the score, I know I keep putting it off. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Man United.
2-1?
A 2-1 Manchester United, yeah.
I look at United, I look at the position you're in, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked. We've scored 6 goals in 2 away games and not took a point. We need to get the 3 points here.
Yeah, good shout with that. Let us know what your thoughts and opinions are. We've given our opinions on the match. We want to know your opinions as ever. Please get them in the comments below, and we'll take a look later on and interact with you there. We're going with the win. Hopefully yous are out there, and we'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Live?
Mind you, that's game tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, so we'll be back after the game.
Back after the game.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting my days mixed
up there. The nerves have set in.
Such a nerves there, getting my days mixed up. But we'll be back shortly after the full-time whistle with the 3 points. So hopefully we can see you there. Thank you. Enjoy the day.